Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 AFLW Full Draft Recap. The draft just ended in the last 20 minutes or so. Got the notes already, got all the picks by picks ready. They're all on the Facebook and Instagram page. We've got this video kind of detailing in a bit more detail. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. Congratulations to every single player that got picked up tonight. Obviously, unfortunately, for the ones that didn't get picked up, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other opportunities where it's train on players, injury replacement players. So don't give up and keep at it. I'm sure you'll get an opportunity at some point. And as you can fully aware, some players that are mature age players can get drafted as well. So just stay put and keep putting in the good work, and I'm sure you'll get recognised. I know there's some that I knew that didn't get picked up in that situation. So hopefully those girls can get picked up in any of these other upcoming periods with injury replacement, etc., like that. Head up. Now, let's go through pick by pick. Pick 1, the Western Bulldogs selected Christy Lee Weston Turner from Victoria. Obviously, it's a key forward in particular, mainly. Can play other positions as well in the midfield part as well. Mainly up forward. It's probably the number one pick choice from the last week or so, if that. But then again, you also got to factor in some players were nominated state. So if you nominated SA, like Piper Window did, she would have been the clear pick 1 in this draft. She was SA, so she could only go to Port or Adelaide when their picks happen. So some players' true draft order aren't really shown, but some are in their rightful positions. And Christy Lee Turner, Weston Turner, was in that conversation at pick 1. So congratulations to her. Pick 2, West Coast went Jessica Wrench, a midfielder from the Rebels in Victoria. So head down to Perth. I was clearly nominated nationally to go to the Eagles. She went at pick 2. You've seen there's probably the best reaction probably for me for the draft. You've seen the reaction, how up and about and excited when they did the interview on the AFL website, and just a reaction when you get your name gets called out. I mean, a lot of them are good, but this one was really, really good, and it's good to see. Now, pick 3, the Giants selected Caitlin Surhoy. I know I got that name wrong because I just had her on the podcast last week. Obviously from WA. Be a good player. The captain of the WA side, really consistent for Peel Thunder as well. Should be a great option for the Giants up in the back half of the ground as well. At pick 4, the Western Bulldogs selected Brooke Barwick from South Australia. Obviously, they're nominated nationally. Can play through the midfield as well. Will be a great selection for the Bulldogs. Obviously, they did pretty well overall, and we'll get to a few other picks they did as well. At pick 5, the Melbourne Football Club selected Alicia Pisano, a forward from the Eastern Rangers in Victoria, a goal sneak, and loves a celebration as well. So Melbourne, obviously, they lost some players through the trade period, about 5 players, experienced players too, and regular players. That should all slot right in there alongside Eden Zanker and Kate Orr up forward. At pick 6, the Western Bulldogs selected Elaine Grigg, obviously from South Australia, who played for the Central District's Bulldogs, is now a Western Bulldog. Funny story, I was at Elaine on the podcast as well. It's good to see the Energizer Bunnies, they called her. She'll be playing up mainly up forward as a small forward and tackle as well. She went so pick 6 of the Dogs. Congratulations to her. Pick 7, Carlton selected Lila Keck from Bendigo Pioneers. Another one that loves a goal celebration. It'll be a live wire up forward for Carlton. At pick 8, Collingwood selected Georgia Clark from Tasmania. Obviously, will be a good selection. Well, the Pies obviously just linked around St Kilda's pick as well, a midfielder. The Pies got in first, and I must add, because I know someone's going to correct me, pick 4, Western Bulldogs, Brooke Barwick was from Tasmania, not from WA, my bad. Not SA, I mean. At pick 9, Collingwood selected Lucille Cronin from the Adelaide Chargers, a midfielder. Got one of the best players on the ground in the final series, and good selection for the Pies. An interesting one, probably wasn't linked around this mark, but a good pick nonetheless. At pick 10, the Saints picked Kira Wiley from the Western Jets in Victoria, the captain of that side. Obviously, a good pick at an inside mid. And that is one of the areas that St Kilda needed to address. She has some leadership qualities as well, tough inside mid. And that is exactly what St Kilda needed to draft. Obviously, they're a bit light in the midfield, need help for Patricio, especially, and Curra up there, and T. Smith. So they need more mids, and they got one here. It's a good selection. I don't mind that. At pick 11, the Bulldogs selected Cleo Butterford. Obviously, it was part of the Giants Academy and didn't get picked up there, so she'll want to prove them wrong. And she will want to prove that wrong by playing regularly for the Bulldogs and doing well as a defender. At pick 12, this is probably one of the shocks in terms of the position in the picks at least. At pick 12, Melbourne selected Riley Wotherspoon from Sherwood District AFC. Obviously, a bit of a wild card selection. You can see where she fits into Melbourne next season. At pick 13, the Richmond Football Club selected Izzy Bacon from the Sandy Dragons, one of a few the Sandy Dragons that got picked up tonight. Obviously, can play in a few positions, and obviously will be a good addition for the Tigers, who need those type of players as well. At pick 14, the Eagles selected Kaylee Gavana from the Calder Cannons, a midfielder. The Bulldogs, well, they do too, but the Eagles, they do need some support in their midfield. They've obviously brought Alyssa Drennan in from the Suns, but you need more numbers, and Kaylee Kavanagh, could play as early as round 1. Pick 15, the Brisbane Lions selected Evie Long from their academy. The Swans did match a bid. Interesting of how the ruling and how this works. Some new rules compared to the men's, which shoot up one of Brisbane's other picks, but end up coming back as well. So it was a bit confusing. But yeah, so they picked Evie Long, a midfielder. With good selection for them through their academy. So that means the Swans had to pick again. At a pick 16, they picked up Sarah Grundon from the Calder Cannons, another Victorian player, taller player. Also would do well at the Swans. And when I had the coach Scott Gowans on, he addressed that's what a position that they were going to target, and they did. At pick 17, the Hawks selected Victorian Dandenong Stingray utility Michaela Williamson. Obviously tested really well at the draft combine, broke the record for the quickest runner in the 2K time trial. I think it was 2K. Broke records for the fastest ever AFLW draft combine player in the 7 or 8 years it's been a thing. So it should be a good pick for the Hawks, and probably will play regularly as well. Pick 18, Geelong selected Chantal Mason, a forward from the Geelong Falcons. Funny story too. She actually obviously played for the Falcons and moved to Melbourne only about a month, not even a month ago, and we'll probably have to move straight back. So we could pick up for Geelong. They need some forwards, and she can be that option for them. Now, pick 19, and I've been saying this for weeks since she nominated nationally and said on my state for SA. It was Piper Window. Once Lauren Young and Sinead Goody were pre-selected picks for the Power, she was clear number one choice from the open pool, but because she nominated national state, she could only go to Port Adelaide. And then obviously in the trade pool, when the mega trade was on, Port Adelaide got ahead of Adelaide. And what was more funny about it, that Adelaide, a part of that 10-team trade, Adelaide was the one that handed them the pick ahead of Adelaide. Adelaide got Ports and Port got Adelaide. So very interesting. The Crows should have figured something out because Port Winner's a gun mid. They might think they've got enough mids to Crows, but can't pass up on a top 3 pick in an open pool as well. So Piper Window, an absolute steal. The steal of this year's draft, Port Adelaide pick 19 at inside mid. All the accolades captain, all Australian Brownlow winner as well in the sample competitions as well, gun midfielder. Pick 20, the Bombers selected Emily Goff from the Sandy Dragons as well, another Sandy Dragons girl. Obviously a key defender. The Bombers probably light on in that area in all positions of the ground. I've been hearing that they were going to target some tall players, and obviously that's one in Emily Goff, the key defender. Good choice there. Pick 21, Brisbane selected their academy player, Sophie Peters, a tall player, can play through a few positions. This will be a handy acquisition for the Brisbane Lions, someone who is touted that could be playing as soon as round 1. Pick 22, the Crows selected Brooke Orlow. I hope I got that right, from South Australia. Midfielder, he can play through a few other positions as well. Will be a good choice for them. Pick 23, Geelong selected father-daughter Bride O'Rourke, who did have a bid on from Melbourne, but they selected her and matched the bid. Then Melbourne went again, and midfielder 2, Bride O'Rourke. Is it pick 24? Melbourne selected Ruckman Jacinta Hose from the Eastern Rangers. So a few injuries she's had, but will be a good backup to Lauren Pearce when Lauren's 31, I think now. So obviously with their future Ruckman Jacinta Hose from the Eastern Rangers. Pick 25, Port Adelaide. Again, they stole this entire bloody draft here, the Power did, with their pre-draft selections. Just in Piper Window, where they picked her up. And then Alyssa Brooke, a key defender from South Adelaide, probably one of the best key defenders in this year's draft. So Port have just absolutely nailed it. They nailed it before the official draft started, and now if you want to actually include tonight's picks only, they probably stole the draft again. So they've dominated the Power. They obviously struggled this year in the competition, but they could shoot. There could be a side that shoots right up, and it would not shock me if they're 5 awesome signings they've picked up, and 3 of them they got for free, literally. Pick 26, North Melbourne selected Alice Slocombe from Claremont in WA. Obviously can play as a defender mainly, but can play through other positions. It's a good selection for North, obviously been in the grand final. It'll be a great pickup for them. At pick 27, Brisbane selected Indiana Williams, one of their academy players, after matching a bid from the Crows. The Crows, that they don't like each other, those two sides, and the Brisbane said that's not happening on my watch, pal. At pick 28, Adelaide then reselected and selected Tamara Henry, a forward from the Western Jets in the Victorian League. An interesting selection. Surprised she went that early, I suppose, but then was touted to go as early as 20, very late in the piece. At pick 29, the Demons selected Gemma Rajoni, a part of their father-daughter as well, after matching a bid from North Melbourne C. Adelaide, Brisbane, two finalists against each other. They don't like each other. Melbourne, North Melbourne, a very exact same scenario. North placed the bid, made Melbourne match, but they were going to anyway. Rajoni could be a good player and could play as soon as round one for Melbourne, especially with those outs that they had. And can play up forward in particular as well and through the midfield. At pick 30, North Melbourne reselected and selected key defender from the Eastern Rangers, another Ranger, Georgia Stubbs. Said a key defender will be a good selection for North Melbourne. Obviously, needs some help for Jazz Ferguson. I did mention this in my preview, what North should target, and obviously Jazz Ferguson needs some help down in the key defender stocks, and Georgia Stubbs could be that person. Pick 31, Carlton selected father-daughter again, Meg Robertson from the Dandenong Stingrays. Midfielder, they can play up forward as well. So congratulations to Meg. Pick 32, Collingwood selected Amber Shute from the Gippsland Power to play a few positions, and the Pies do need a bit of everything after their disappointing season this year and exits in the previous season. Pick 33, Sydney selected, I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, Laura Hosegger from the Oakley Chargers. Tongue twister, that one. But yeah, can play in a few positions. And the Swans, as I said, they wanted mids and they wanted key defenders, and they targeted both. So they've nailed what they needed, and they've got what they got. Pick 34, Adelaide selected Lily Tarlington from Bond University. A bit of a surprise, wasn't really linked at all in this entire draft period. So a bit of an unknown, but unknowns can sometimes be the best. Pick 35, Brisbane selected Raina Crozier from their academy. A few clubs were apparently looking at bidding on her, and Brisbane just selected her before that bidding happened. Gold Coast selected at pick 36, their first pick, Keely Fullerton from the Bendigo Pioneers, a key position player, can play it in a few positions as well. Could be a solid choice for the Suns after they lost Lauren Aren, to the Bulldogs as a key defender, so that Keely could replace her essentially. Pick 37, Brisbane selected Jacinta Baldwick, who I found on the podcast, an academy player, good player, can play through the midfield and play up forward. I mean, again, a premiership side will be tough to break into, but if any of their draftees can, Jacinta could be the one. At pick 38, Essendon selected Chloe Adams from the Geelong Falcons, a taller utility type. Again, with Essendon, as I said, I've been hearing that they want some taller players. They got a key defender in Emily Goff earlier, and Chloe Adams again. And that's probably the area they need. But then again, they probably do need some midfielders as well to help Maddie Pasparkas and Bonnie Toogood's up forward as well. So I would have expected a midfielder at this point, but that's who they've gone with. At pick 39, again, this is where I say before about Piper Window, Georgie Cleaver at pick 39 to the Eagles from East Fremantle. She was always going to go to one of the two WA sides because she nominated the WA. Had she not owned nationally, a lot of talk was she's definitely between pick 5 and 10, if not earlier. So Eagles get a steal. The Eagles played this well. Now people will say, well, Eagles had 2 picks before. Why the hell would they do that? Well, why would you when Fremantle don't have a pick until, which I think is 40-something. So, like, why would you select her when you got 2 picks of your own? You can pick anyone you want. And then when it comes to the WA-based players, you can pinch in your third pick before Freo's first pick. So smart thinking from the Eagles. I mean, common sense, really. I just had to clarify that for people that wondered why they waited for her so late. At pick 40, GWS selected Indigo Lindy from the Eastern Rangers, another Ranger. Interesting choice from the Giants. Could be a good player. The Giants have picked some solid players in this draft tonight. Let me see where she fits in with, obviously, Zali Goldsworthy, Alicia Eva, Elise Parker, re-signed, Georgia Garnett, and a few co's in a few other positions. See where she fits. Indy Lee Lind. Pick 41, Geelong Pass. So that means pick 42. The Eagles selected Matilda Sargent. Now, from East Fremantle, but was previously recently on Fremantle's list in the last 2 years. So another second chance for Matilda Sargent. This is your Sargent speaking. Pick 43, Richmond selected Mackenzie Ford from the Tasmanian Devils. I think there was 3 Tasmanians tonight. Mackenzie is one of 3. An interesting selection, playing a few positions as well for the Tigers. Pick 44, Gold Coast selected 22-year-old Taya Oliver from Kurapura FC. I hope I haven't stuffed that up. There's a lot of tongue twisters today, and even the commentary had some problems with that as well, so I wouldn't be the only one. 22-year-old unknown selection was really, they're saying on the coverage, within the last 24 hours, wasn't mentioned at all. So an unknown factor, but then, like I said earlier, they can sometimes be the best. Pick 45, Hawthorn selected Sophie Butterworth from the Dandenong Stingrays. They feature again. Key defender. Hawks need some help from Mackenzie early, and there was an area I said they needed to target, and they've done so. There was Sophie Butterworth from the Dandenong Stingrays in Victoria. Pick 46, North Melbourne relisted Lucy Burke, so I don't need to go over that. Pick 47, St Kilda selected father-daughter selection Charlotte Simpson, who can play as a midfielder, forward, 19 years old, didn't get drafted last year, played for Geelong's VFLW side this year, averaged 23 disposals, like 6 marks and tackles a game. Handy selection, and they got leadership qualities along with Kira Wiley earlier. So, I mean, St Kilda, they need a few positions. They kind of got those in the tribune in terms of a key defender and a ruck. So they more looked for midfielders here, and they can play up forward as well. So I don't mind. That's kind of basically got one in each position through the 4 plays through the trade and draft periods. The Western Bulldogs selected Georgia Borg, who was actually a train-on player for them. And the ruling is, if you're a train-on player, you're technically not an official player, so you actually have to be drafted per se. So played 1 game, I think, for the Bulldogs in the last game of the AFLW season. They need some ruck support for Alice Edmonds, so they brought in Georgia Borg. Pick 49, Freo selected Holly Eifold from South Australia, South Adelaide's football club. Can play in a few positions up back and in the midfield as well. An interesting selection. Probably could have gone earlier, but Holly's gone at pick 49 to the Dockers. Pick 50, Gold Coast selected Kira Bishop from their academy. Good player, good midfield, strong contested player as well. Pick 51, Gold Coast they selected again and selected Sienna McMullen from Bond University, part of their academy as well. Unfortunately, it's her ACL, I think 3 months in the recovery, I think they said. So she may not feature next year. Will be a good play for the future. At pick 52, Gold Coast selected Annabelle Kivett from the Northern Territory. And it was talked to that she was not even mentioned on the draft boards until literally this morning or late last night. So it's funny. So you keep putting it out there. You never know. Even if you're not getting talked about or spoken to by clubs, there's sometimes not necessarily doesn't mean they're not interested. They can't interview 500 and something people, but it shows persistence pays off, and Annabelle Kivett gets a chance at the Suns. Pick 53, GWS pass, which means at 54, Freo relisted Ali Runnels, and the final pick, obviously, who was playing for Fremantle and played every week. So obviously she's a regular for Fremantle. I'm assuming they used her for this position because they'll run the risk of someone else picking her up. Ali Runnels, who remains at the Dockers officially again, like Lucy Burke and North. And the final pick at pick 55, Melbourne selected 19-year-old Delaney Madgen from the Eastern Rangers, another range. So a 19-year-old, a top ager. Also didn't get drafted last year. Went away and went back to the Rangers and done really well there. And shows persistent pace off. See, like I was saying earlier about if you don't give it up now, there's all these other opportunities. And in Delaney's case, she went back to Coach League this year. Done well, obviously, to get picked up and noticed by Melbourne, and gets a chance a year later than expected, but better late than never, as they say. Who do you think won the AFLW draft period? As I said earlier, I feel Paul won. Basically, as I said, those 3 pre-listed players, Loz Young, Sinead Goody, Molly Brooksby, and then tonight, Piper Window and Alyssa Brooke. Those first 4 are clearly top 10, and Alyssa Brooke is around 10 as well if you put it in an open pool. So they nailed the trade and draft period, 10 out of 10. No one come close. Yes, the Bulldogs had lots of early picks, and a lot of players go out and bring in 6 players, I think it was, in the trade period. But plain and simple, Port Adelaide nailed it. If you had, as I said, open pool, 4 top 10 players right there. In fact, no, 5. Thank you for watching. Port were my winners. Bulldogs were probably next best because they had all those top picks. Who did you think won? Comment down below. Happy with how the Saints went. Just wish they had a few more selections and didn't re-sign some players and get some other picks in as well, or traded in players. But they've done it. They've had to do what they got, and see how we go next year. Hopefully finals, not again, but hopefully they do because they're all close enough. Only percentage out. Thank you for watching this video. there'll still be more interviews and golden challenges, whether it's in the women's or men's competition. So there's still going to be plenty more videos. Comment down below. In fact, while you're watching this, there's a big announcement tomorrow, and it's a very good one. And it's involving, here's the tease, it's involving someone that got drafted in the top 10 picks tonight. Thank you for watching, and go